like as of now, you don't need to know anything. All you need to have is an idea, and we'll be helping you along the way with two mentors that we'll provide, one from second year as well as one from third year, and you'll be learning along the way and building the project that you want. Second of all, like you guys will be starting to fill the forms as of now. So there are two separate forms, so fill accordingly. See whichever section is the section that you want to fill for, and fill the form, fill the correct form according to that. Second of all, like coming next, there are a lot of doubts regarding what is a proposal. So the proposal as of now is the proposal of an idea. You do not need to mention explicitly how you're going to implement it or what technologies you're going to use, etc. It needs to be an idea for solving a problem, and that's all you need as of now. Uh, Coming to another thing, multiple entries per proposal. So, like we'll also be addressing this question again, but the thing is, as of now, what we want you to submit is a Google Docs folder. So within that folder, you can keep on adding your ideas later, but you can start filling the form now. You can mention, like, say you're participating in a team, so you can mention the team there, and also you can attach the Google Doc folder, and within that folder you can later on add whatever idea comes into your mind. Okay. And okay, uh yep. So coming to the FAQs that we have listed, like these are basically questions that we've already received from you guys. So we've told the answer to these questions to say a few students, to say a few freshers, but we just want to get these out of the way and then we'll get on with your questions. So first of all, is it necessary to build a mobile app? And also, is it necessary to use Flutter? The answer to both of those questions is no. Like we at MDG Space work on all kinds of projects, be it mobile apps, web apps, etc. This was actually also the motivation behind our rebranding from Mobile Development Group to MDG Space, which is a space for creativity. So in the SOC, your ideas can be anything. It may be to build a website, it may be to build an app, it may be to build a game that you really want to build, etc. Whatever you want. And also there are no limits on what tools you use to build your projects. Uh, like we had our workshop on Flutter, doesn't mean that we only encourage entries that have projects that are submitted in Flutter. Like any tool that you want to use, you can. Okay. Coming to the second question, will MDG Space recruit from the SOC? Yes, of course. If you have a very good entry in the SOC, we'll be granting you direct entry into the MDG interviews for our recruitments. Also, there was another confusion regarding, like, let's say there's a team for three. So if the project is very good, like will all three be recruited, etc. Or say there is a project of three people where people like one of the members did a lot of the work, and let's say the other two did like just sufficient amount of work. So we'll be assessing those things separately. We'll be looking at how much contribution each person has made to the team, and based on that we will say like whether or not we want to say that this person will get direct access to interviews or not. Okay. So coming to how to make a proposal, and could you share a sample proposal? Okay, for this, we've uploaded templates for proposals on our website, which is mdgiitr.ac.in/soc, which is open here. If you go down into the application guidelines section, here you can see templates for group proposals for solo developers as well as for solo designers, and also we will also be sharing with you a specific example for a proposal. So stay tuned. Also, the next question might be that how to choose a product idea in terms of what is preferred and would it be possible to implement it. As of now, all we want you to do is to think of the problems that you may face in real life situations and just try to find an innovative solution to it. As of now, you do not need to think of how you're going to implement it and would it be feasible to implement, etc. For that, you'll have mentors to help you out. Also, whatever doc file you share with us, for that, like whatever folder you share with us, On the idea too, we'll be leaving comments when we review them so that you may make some tweaks here and there with respect to making sure whether it's feasible or not. Uh, Okay, so like a lot of you have also asked, like, could we share some example project ideas? Like you can get inspiration for ideas on our website. Like we shared this specific GitHub repo for that very reason. It has a list of hackathon projects and stuff, so you can see what people build in hackathons. Also, like uh, made a specific link for designers where they can view a set of problem statements and stuff. And also we have linked a blog here where you can see previous MDG SOC experiences. Like they are written by our members about like from the time when they were giving the SOC. Okay. Uh, Also, yeah, there is also a sample proposal that is here, and we'll make it available to you. Don't worry. And this sample proposal is from 2019, and it was made by one of our members. So you can see exactly how the proposal needs to be right with respect to submission and with respect to what is to be mentioned and whatnot. Okay.
This sample has been already shared in the chat. You can see it has been linked in the chat by Riya.
Yeah. Thanks, Soumya. Uh, okay. Like, you do not have to be overwhelmed with the number of questions, etc. we are addressing. If you have any doubts with respect to any of these questions later on, we can address them again. Okay. This is not supposed to be like me just like explaining stuff and you guys listening. This is not supposed to be a lecture or anything. We just want your questions to be answered, however way it happens. Okay. Uh, okay. Coming to, is there a strict limit for 3 members for a team? No. You can participate as a solo participant or in a group of 2 to 3 members. Also, linked to this question is whether the team needs to include a designer or not. As such, it is not necessary to include a designer, but we highly recommend that you have a designer in your team. So in a team of 3, you may have 2 developers and a designer. What this will enable you to do is like in real world too, like in most of our projects, so in all of our projects basically at MDG, there is a group of developers as well as a group of designers who work on the project simultaneously. So like the designers can make sure the product looks up to the market, looks up to standards, etc. And the developers can make sure that the product works. Okay. Design is a very important part too, and we want you to experience like as close an experience to building a real project as possible in our SOC. Okay. Then is it necessary to have an original proposal or students can submit a proposal which is already being used? Look, your project should be original, right? As in it should not be, let's say, the exact copy of a GitHub project, etc. Like that said, you can take inspiration from other projects, like the projects that we mentioned here on our website, like these hackathon projects, also projects mentioned within this blog that I previously talked about. You can look into what projects were built and you could take ideas from them, but we want you to find innovate like solutions to innovative problems and learn to develop the solutions for them along the way, maybe using an app or a website or whatever. Okay. So like please try to make your ideas as unique as possible. uh, okay. Do we have to make our proposal templates on Word doc or can we submit multiple proposals? Okay, first of all, like please pay attention here. What you're going to be doing is within the form that you submit, you'll be required to share the link for a Google Drive folder. As of now, what you can do is you can go ahead, fill that form. Let's say you have a team of 3 or a team of 2. You can go ahead, you can fill that form and you can share the maybe drive folder. It may be an empty folder as of now. So you can share, you can add that folder within the form. And as you get your ideas till the idea submission deadline, that is 7th, as you get your ideas, you can keep adding those ideas to that drive folder. Okay. That's it. Like you can start filling the forms even right now, even when you don't have the idea. You just have to share that folder where you'll be keeping, you'll keep adding your ideas later. Okay. Then there was a question about can students make one proposal or project individually for both events, that is SOC and Winter of Code. So like we understand that a lot of you might be trying to get into groups like SDS as well. So like the question was whether they could people could submit the exact same project, etc. So you are allowed to submit the same idea proposal for both the events. But in that case, say both the groups accept your proposal, then you'll have to pursue it in only one of the events, right? On the other hand, if say you want to build different projects in both of the events, you are welcome to do so, and it will give you experience anyways. Okay. Another question was how high is the bar for competition? We don't want you to think of the competition. Just focus on giving it your best. And if we see that you're working hard on your project and you've put a lot of effort and as well as you've learned a lot of valuable tech skills along the way, you will have a fair chance of making it of being selected directly for MDG interviews. Okay. We've also shared a few of the quick links. We'll be sharing this exact document with you, including the FAQs, so that you can go over it again. Also, there are links for all the templates, for template for group submission, template for solo developers, as well as a submission template for solo designers. Also, we've also linked both the form for solo developers as well as the form for solo designers within this document, and we'll be sharing this entire document with you. Okay. If with respect to any question there is any doubt, you can ask right now. Uh, Also, like most of your queries, I would really suggest you guys to take a look at the website, mdjitr.ac.in/soc. Take a look at this link. Please share it in the chat too, so that like people can look at it later. Most of the queries that you guys ask would already have answers here. So like please read it properly. And even then, you might have doubts, it's okay. And we're there for you. Okay. You can join our MDG open space for that too. Yep.
Yeah, can you share that link of MDG open space in the chat box?
Yeah,
Uh,
I've shared it. I've shared it in the chat box.
for the open Slack space, so
Open Slack.
please
Okay.
do that too.
Okay.
So we are fielding your doubts now, guys. So how this is going to go is we request those of you who have got a doubt to raise their hands. Just like yeah, I believe
Mm,
you
Yeah,
started.
I have a question. Can you at once clear what is team, what is solo developer, and what is solo designer? Like the team formation.
Okay, I'll go over the question. The thing is, we have allowed you, like there are multiple ways to participate in the SOC. So you could participate as a solo developer. Say you want to build a project on your own. So you can do that too, and you'll have to fill the form for solo developer in that case, and you'll have a template for that too. Otherwise, you may want to participate in a team. Let's say you are a group of 2 to 3 friends who want to build a project together, so you can do that too. There's a template for that attached in the website, as I mentioned. Yep, here are the 3 templates. This is for groups, this is for solo developers, it's for solo designers. So like if you want to participate in a group of 2 to 3 people, you can do so. Plus, like if you're a designer and you don't have a group of developers to work with, the group form can include both. It may be a group of developers only, but we really prefer like if the group includes a designer, because that is how you're going to get real world experience for building projects. And but say you're a designer and you don't have a group, so you can apply as a solo designer too in that case, and the template for your submission is linked here. Okay. I hope that was clear. And if not, you could ask your question again, like whatever part you want us to explain.
Yeah, Dhruv, that was well explained. One of the doubts which is recurring in the chat is if the roles of developers and designers, if they can be flexible. So I understand that since you guys are freshers and you do not really know what role would be better for you, etc. So it's completely fine if you are not, um, you know, sort of rigid with a particular role and you just want to work on both as well. That's also fine. Also, we have a strict requirement for the teams to have a very clear work distribution. I'm sure those of you who's like who are participating in teams would have seen the form, and we and sorry, the template proposal template, and we've specified that each member should be specifying what functionality they'll be working on. We are very strict on this. because that will allow us to track the progress of each individual throughout the mentorship program.
Okay, can we allow Aishwarya to open her mic?
Yeah, sure, please,
Yeah.
Prakhar.
So I had a question that you said that you have to give that we have to give an idea, but in the proposal, okay, fine, done. But what if with idea I could submit my some of my work? Means is it okay? Means or just idea, just give the idea. That's it.
So Aishwarya, you just have to submit your idea proposal with us for in order to participate in SOC, in order for us to maybe shortlist your proposal. You do not have to submit any previous work as such.
Okay. So just an idea, and then after some period of time, you will tell us to work on it, and as you said, that providing mentors.
Right. So in the Google form, if you've seen, we are asking you your contact details along with your GitHub ID as well. So in case if you have if you've pushed your previous work, as you say, to your GitHub profile and you have a GitHub profile, you can link it in the application form itself. And if in case in the eventuality that you are selected for the mentorship program, you will then work on your project, yes, and we will be mentoring you.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Yeah, so now it's Shrey, you can unmute yourself.
Is there any limit on the number of proposals that would be accepted?
No.
No, no.
Um, yeah, you can make multiple submissions, and that is why, like Dhruv specified, that you have to upload or you have to link a Google Drive folder. And the why we've asked you to do that is because you're free to upload more like proposals as and how the time goes, and you're at least you can apply with us right now itself and upload later on.
So we could provide multiple proposals and you could select the best one out of them if you like any one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kavi Liga, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. So right now we have to think about the idea only, right? Means we don't have to think how to solve it or how we can prepare the app or website. We don't need to think about it right now.
Right. So how do I pronounce your name? I don't want to butcher it.
Krishna.
Krishna. Okay. Hi.
Krishna.
So the thing is that if you've seen the template, actually, Dhruv, can you show the template?
Yeah,
Can you
sure.
click on the?
Like if I look at the template for groups.
Yeah, 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 sure. Groups
Yeah.
is fine. So Krishna, you have to ideate, yes, and you have to come up with a idea that solves a particular problem, or it has a particular use case, and you have to describe it to us in this format that is there. So you don't have to go into the technical details. You don't have to sit and think, what is a tech stack that do I need to solve it as, or you should have a basic idea as to what you want to solve and how are you going to solve it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we specifically mentioned that you do not need to include the tech stack of the project, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Anaisha, you can unmute yourself.
How can we decide the work distribution now? Like, we don't have enough technical knowledge. Which part will be better for whom? How can we decide?
Okay. So ideally speaking, your project would compose of several functionalities, right? Your project would be, you can think of your project as, like it has certain parts. You can divide your project into parts. You don't have to think about the technical stack, the tech stack, and like, divide it as per domain, but you can divide it as per functionalities. So what we suggest is that the teammates also divide the work distribution in the same way.
Okay, one point, like this will also be flexible. Say after working for some time, you can raise a question to your mentor that we want to divide some work in some other way, है ना? So as you go, it is completely flexible, and you will be able to have a talk with your mentors and arrange the work accordingly. There is no hard deadlines or hard work distribution that is to be done right now. It is just like we want to get an idea of what amount of work might be done by each of the participants. That's all. Like we don't want any hard separations of like this task will be done by this person. It is completely flexible. You can change it later on, like if after discussing with the mentor, obviously.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Raj, you can admit yourself. Raj Anand. Yeah.
So yes, yes. I want to ask that suppose we propose an idea
Raj, your voice is breaking. Can
Mm-hmm.
you try repeating?
and we have more than one ideas. I'm asking that suppose we have proposed more than one ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, I'm
Okay.
audible?
Yeah,
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 Yep,
we
you're
you're
can
audible.
hear
So
you.
you're audible.
yeah, if we have more than one idea that we have proposed in the Google form and we have submitted, so will we get an response from your team that which idea is the best option we should work upon?
So this really depends on how soon you make a submission with us. Um, from our end, we can say that if you submit with us earlier, and we because we will start going through your proposal as and how you submit, we can leave reviews like as comments on your Google Docs in case uh, we see scope for it being better. So yeah, that much we can do. Yes.
And after getting the better options to work upon, we will get any like mentorship from like we are not into this field yet, so we are just the beginners right now. And will we get any mentorship, or we should or we have to do it by yourself from YouTube or other sources?
Okay, so Raj, and this is for everyone here. Uh, as we've specified even in our website, this is a mentorship program. This is a mentorship program, which means that we will be mentoring you, and none of you have to worry about not having previous skill set or not having coded before, etc., etc. All you have to have is a well defined idea. So, and we will get to know how well defined is your idea by looking at your proposal. That is all. And once you're selected,
And in
one
short,
yes.
yeah, yeah, miss you continue, ma'am. Continue, ma'am. You continue.
So, and once you're selected, once your project is selected, you will be assigned a mentor, and we will work with you on that, and we will be giving you resources, etc.
Yeah, ma'am. And in final, we just have a better idea about how the algorithm is, and how and what the way we can make our idea into effect. Just just we have a knowledge.
Sorry, I didn't catch you there.
Ma'am, I asked ma'am the idea that we propose. We should just have the proper algorithm of how will we work upon it, and just the knowledge, just how it will come into an effect, not the code and all, just little bit of this and then it will work like that.
Uh, you don't have
Mm-hmm. It,
to.
it, it, it would work currently like in the proposal phase. In this much would work, right? You are asking this about the proposal phase, right? In the proposal.
Yeah, yeah, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah, so in the proposal phase, is it okay? It is okay if we don't want any code in the proposal phase, right?
yes.
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fine.
Also, if you have any other issues, like I've sent the a proposal, like an example proposal from 2019 again. You can go over it. You can see how much details like there have been entered. Okay, you can get an exact idea as to what proposals are going to look like. Yeah.
Hi,
Okay,
Nikhil.
sure.
Nikhil? Yeah,
Audio.
yeah, you are audible.
What to write under the milestone given in templates? What we have to basically write in under that milestones?
Right. So if you look at the proposal that we've dropped in the chat box, you'll see that the milestones is basically the timeline. um, right. What happened
Don't
to it?
worry about it. I'll look at the
Okay,
we'll
okay.
share the link again. Okay.
Okay, but in the
Don't
chat
look at
box
that.
it has been dropped, and you can open it and see. So the milestone is basically the timeline of how you would work on the project. So that's how we know how well defined your idea is. So let's say ki you have said that I will finish up till this point in the first week. I will finish designing in the first week, then I will finish this particular functionality in the next week, and then I will sit and debug that for 2 days, and then I will work on the next feature in the third week, so on and so forth. We want to see how you break down your ideation and your work process.
इसमें यदि 5 फीचर्स है तो हमें बताना है कि वो फर्स्ट फीचर पे हम कितने टाइम पे वर्क करेंगे, सेकंड फीचर पे कितने टाइम पे वर्क करेंगे.
एग्जैक्टली बिल्कुल. प्रोजेक्ट स्पेसिफिकेशंस में आइडियली यू वुड हैव मेंशन 5 फीचर हैं, तो ये 5 फीचर हैं जो आई वांट इन माय एमवीपी बीइंग मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट, मतलब इतना तो होना चाहिए. फिर उस 5 फीचर्स का नेक्स्ट सेक्शन में यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग टाइम, कि कितने टाइम में कितने दिन में यू विल बी एबल टू फिनिश इट.
और एग्जाम्पल प्रपोजल में तो लाइक आप देखोगे तो वहाँ पे आपको दिख जाएगा कि लाइक वहाँ पे भी माइलस्टोन्स क्लियरली मेंशन्ड है कि इतना पार्ट इतने दिन में हो जाएगा, उसके बाद इतना पार्ट इतने दिन में, और एक्स्ट्रा टाइम बचता है तो मैं ये वाला पार्ट भी करना चाहूँगा, राइट. ऐसा कुछ आपको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है.
ओके, गो अहेड सुभाजीत.
सुभाजीत, या.
Hello, I wanted to ask, let's say in a team, someone has a functionality majorly based on design. So let's say he gets recruited in MDG. So will he be recruited in the design team of MDG, or he can flexibly change into the development team also? Or is there something like that?
Okay, so this is after you get recruited, right? So after someone gets recruited, so it is completely flexible for that person. Like it doesn't depend on how you have got recruited, right? It is just like what the person wants to do. If he wants to design, he can do it. If he wants to do video editing, he can do it. Like he can do anything, right? Being part of a group, right? That is not linked to SOC or some other way. It is not linked to any of such thing, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Divyansh, go ahead.
Yeah, Divyansh.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask if the criteria for the selection of team project and for the solo project will be same one, or there will be some difference. Like I want to say the team projects will definitely be better than the solo projects. So team projects will be preferred.
Okay, I have two questions to ask you. What do you mean by selection of team projects? What do you mean by selection here? Do you mean selection of the idea, or the what do you mean?
The final project after season of code finishes.
So we don't have any selection as such. Like Dhruv said, this is not a competition. We would have a successful submission maybe, and that is totally up to you guys, up to the team or up to the solo participant. You know how determined they are, and according to their needs, if they're able to finish the project. So we are not assessing you only on the completion of the project. We will be assessing you continuously throughout the program in case your proposal is shortlisted.
Okay,
I
thank
guess, yeah. Thank you. Right, Mohit, you can go with your question. Mohit, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
So I want to ask, what is the basic difference between SOC and Winter of Code? How can I choose between the two?
So are you talking about Winter of Code by SDS? So
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
there are
see,
different
these
groups.
two, yes, Soumya, you can go forward with that.
There are two different groups. One is by SDS, one is by us, MDG. So that's the fundamental difference. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, Mohit, go ahead. I believe that was Rishabh.
Ma'am, like, should our ideas be restricted to some particular sort of domain, or we can give a generic idea, like which we would like to implement in the project?
I am sorry, I didn't get you. Can you repeat?
Like, should our ideas be restricted to some particular domain that we give ideas
No.
regarding kind of project only, or we can give a generic idea that this kind of
Mm,
project we would implement, or we would like to make our project of.
It is not. We are not restricting you to any domain, but I mean, ideally speaking, if you if you want to create an application or a bot or um, any piece of software that is solving a particular use case, you would know, right? That you would have a ऊपर ऊपर से तो आइडिया रहेगा कि किस फॉर्म में चाहिए. Do you want to make a mobile app to solve that use case? Do you want it to be a bot or do you want it to be just a script? Do you mean that or do you mean ऐसे और specific domains मतलब
Yeah,
language?
if we propose some idea that requires some technical skills which are not easily handleable, like we can't learn them as good in these time limit, like we have to submit a project in some March. So if the technology requires some good skills to implement the ideas, then what can we do?
Can you tell us what you have in your mind when you say advanced skills and
Like
advanced language?
लाइक अभी तो मतलब सोचा नहीं है, लेकिन मैं मतलब सोच रहा हूँ, मतलब अभी मतलब मैं बस यही चाहता हूँ कि मतलब ऐसा ना हो कि जो मैं आइडिया सोचूं वो फिर इम्प्लीमेंट ही ना हो पाए अभी.
Okay, so that is a very big feasibility check which we have mentioned in the judging criteria for the proposals कि feasible होना चाहिए, innovative हो और मस्त हो और मतलब it is very धाकड़ and सब good, but it has to be feasible. So वो चीज़ you and your teammates or if you are applying solo would have to keep in mind. थोड़ा बहुत तो research करना पड़ेगा अपने end से कि
राइट, मतलब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि तुमने कुछ आइडिया दिया वो तो बन ही नहीं पाएगा, तो फिर तो फायदा नहीं हुआ ना कोई. इसलिए तो ऐसा ही आइडिया देना जो फिजिबल हो, और फिजिबिलिटी तुम्हें पता चल जाएगी, है ना, देखने से, थोड़ा सा सर्च करने से नेट पे, है ना. तो तुम यू नो अबाउट द फिजिबिलिटी.
थैंक यू.
Plus, you're provided with mentors. Like worst case scenario, you think an idea is feasible, but it ends up not being feasible. So like people are there to like review it, right? But like try your best to make sure you have an idea that is feasible, right? Research about it. That'll help your proposal. Like if
okay,
a proposal is rejected, then that's like bad for you, right? Because you'll have to come up with a brand new one. Yeah.
do that.
तन्वी.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
I just wanted to ask, like in the proposal, we have included some of the features of the website or the app. So in the main course of the project, if we think of some other feature, so is it compulsory to include that in this till 7th Feb, or we can just uh, increase the features of our website or app?
That's completely all right. Like Prakhar said in one of the previous answers, you're completely feasible to work on your functionalities and features. If in case your proposal is submitted or you're accepted, you are free to talk to your mentors and like figure it out and change or up your game and etc. But I would strongly suggest that you think about uh, those features that are likely to get you selected, that give you that plus point, that oomph point. Because if you somehow uh, realize later on after submitting कि यार ये आइडिया मेरा रह गया या ये फीचर से और बढ़िया बन सकता था proposal and then you miss out because of that, that should not happen. So जी जान से ideate तो अभी कर.
Yep. Try to make your
Okay.
proposal as strong as possible, right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Komal, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So I wanted to ask that right now I don't have any knowledge of Git and I have never used it before. So is it necessary that I should have an account over it and like I should know how to use it?
No, like we said before in the chat as well, that your previous skill sets or your non-existence of your previous skill set is not an issue. What you should know is what you should have is a good strong idea, and that's it. Don't worry about your technical skills. We will take care of that.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू। एंड वन मोर थिंग, लाइक प्रोजेक्ट आइडिया मतलब जैसे कुछ वेबसाइट डेवलप कर सकते हैं या कुछ ऐप रिलेटेड थिंग, सो यही है ना इसका मतलब प्रोजेक्ट आइडिया?
Yeah. And doubt matlab in case you want more examples or something, you can look at the hackathons का जो लिंक डाला है वेबसाइट में, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल्सो वी कैन ऑल्सो टेक अ लुक एट आवर प्रपोजल। अब हमारा प्रपोजल जो डाला है वो एक ऐप का है, एंड्रॉयड ऐप का है, तो उससे यू विल गेट एन आइडिया। बट येस, प्रोजेक्ट मीन्स a web app, an app, or a piece of software.
अच्छा, पता है मतलब नॉट जस्ट एन ऐप, बट तुम लाइब्रेरी भी बना सकते हो। लाइक जो इफ यू गो थ्रू द प्रीवियस सबमिशंस, देयर इज अ सबमिशन वेयर एक्चुअली एक लाइब्रेरी बनी हुई है ना? इट्स नॉट एन ऐप और समथिंग, इट इज अ लाइब्रेरी फॉर अ फ्लटर, इट इज अ फ्लटर पैकेज बेसिकली। ठीक है, तो तुम वो भी जाके देख सकते हो। ठीक है, तो वो थोड़ा एडवांस हो गया। ठीक है, वो बनाया भी एक सेकेंड ईयर में था, राइट? सो बट यू कैन डू इट, लाइक अगर तुम्हारा मन कर रहा है, यू कैन डू इट।
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Aryan, go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, can an individual be part of two different teams?
No.
मतलब तुम्हारा फायदा भी नहीं होगा ना उससे, तो
like you'll be
तुम्हारा क्या
focusing your
फायदा?
effort not in two different places.
तुम्हारा फायदा ही नहीं है उसमें, तो नुकसान ही है बल्कि।
Okay, but if the team, if one team gets selected and the other doesn't, then
like you'll have to make sure you have a team that has a prominent idea, right? An idea that has the chances of getting selected.
Yeah.
वो बेस्ट होगा।
okay, fine, thank you.
Like we understand you'll have to convince your friends, but try to pick one good team, right, with a strong proposal.
Okay.
Don't worry.
And if I am having two different ideas,
Okay, go on.
So like you are allowed to make multiple submissions, no? Like have one team, and within that team can upload one drive folder, and within that drive folder you can include both your proposals, okay?
two
And
complete
like
different ideas.
yeah, two completely different ideas, and that'll also increase your chances, no? You have two separate strong ideas that way, okay?
Also, this reminds me, since someone's come up with this doubt, guys, we will be monitoring कि आपने कैसे अपना formation किया है और क्या submission किया है, and if we see multiple मतलब एक जने ने multiple जगह से apply किया है, वो disqualify हो जाएगा instantly। तो ये सब कारनामा please do not do. अभी से बोल रहे हैं।
And it will also not be helpful to you anyways, right?
इससे ज्यादा डराता भी नहीं है कोई यहाँ पे, है ना? तो बता कोमल, आप अनम्यूट करके बता सकते हो।
Yes, sir, I have already asked the doubt.
अच्छा, हो गया तो हाथ नीचे कर लो।
Okay, okay. Parth, you can go ahead.
Approximately how many projects will you be accepting? Do you have any fixed number of plan?
See, that really depends on the volume that we receive and the quality that we receive. So I don't think.
Yeah.
Quality
If there
is
are a
what
lot of
matters.
good ideas, we'll not reject them, obviously, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that now.
Yeah.
I would strongly suggest कि सब लोग अपना proposals मतलब submission start करते हैं, so that we get an idea of the numbers as well, right?
Also, like don't think of it as a competition, right? Just focus on doing your best. You're supposed to learn from this, okay?
वही डिफरेंस है, मेजर डिफरेंस ही वो है ना? ये 2 डे हैकाथन करा सकते हैं, 1 वीक हैकाथन करा सकते हैं, बट ये वो है ही नहीं, राइट? दिस इज अ मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे तुम कितना सीखोगे अलोंग द वे, दैट मैटर्स, ना कि तुम्हारा फाइनल प्रोडक्ट या तुम्हारा, है ना, इनिशियल तुमने कितना किया था, तुम्हारी टीम कैसी थी, वगैरह वगैरह, डजंट मैटर। पूरे फ्लो में तुम कैसे थे, कैसा सीखा, है ना, मेंटोर के साथ कितना कोऑपरेट किया, राइट? वो सब बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करता है। हैकाथन नहीं है, फाइनल प्रोडक्ट नहीं देखेंगे हम सिर्फ, राइट? या तो श्रेय, आपका आंसर हो क्या था क्या? आपको कुछ पूछना है?
Guys,
I
those of you don't have a doubt, lower कर लो अपने hands को.
Yep.
श्रेया, आपकी आवाज आ नहीं रही अगर आप कुछ पूछ रहे हो तो। ठीक है, अभी अभी हम रविराज से पूछ लेते हैं। रविराज,
Yeah, so I had this doubt. So let's say in the submission I mention multiple features. Let's say 5 features to say, and while executing, I feel that, let's say, like, I should cut down a feature because it is making things complicated. Let's say. So is that possible, or like the number of features listed while submission is the minimum you are supposed to do?
see, first, there is no minimum you need to do. ठीक है. Second, after the proposal is accepted, you are not alone. ठीक है, तुम्हारे पास 2 मेंटर्स हैं साथ में सोचने के लिए. अगर तुमने जो बोला तुम्हारे मेंटर्स को सही लगता है, वो कुछ भी हो वो माना जाएगा. ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ भी बाउंडेशन नहीं है किसी भी चीज का. राइट, मेंटर्स हैं ही इसलिए तुम्हारी
Okay.
बात पर्सनली सुनने के लिए. ठीक है.
Yeah, you'll be directly in contact with them. Okay. So like whatever
got it.
is your
Thanks.
issue, you can share with them. Okay.
Yep. Thanks.
Hmm.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear you now.
Yep. Sure.
If I make an app which requires a database, which would further require a large scale survey, so
Mhm.
it should be considered as a feasibility barrier.
Okay, so I don't think that there are only paid services. There are many unpaid as well as open source services that you can utilize. So I don't think that should be an issue, but you should be aware of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
मतलब
And yep,
Were you
like
talking about the services or the large scale data collection? Something like that. I think.
worst case scenario, just as a proof of concept, you can use dummy data, right? And then like
Dummy
if
data.
you have if you have time, if you have like the capability to build it further, you can build it further.
Okay.
That's why we'll be giving you feedback on your ideas, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Try to submit them like as soon as possible so that we can actually review it nicely.
Or like at least try to share that a blank folder, right, within that form, and after that you can keep adding ideas to it. Okay, we also want to have an idea of the volume of submissions we're receiving, right? And plus that'll help you to get registered. Okay.
Okay. Anisha, do you have a doubt again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
If we have an original idea and later we come to know that something similar is already there, so would there be any problem? Like it wouldn't be exactly same because it's an original idea, but if we come to know that something similar is there.
No, that's really not, that should not be a problem. See, there are only n number of ideas out there, right? So कहीं ना कहीं किसी ने बनाया तो होगा, या you would have incorporated something that you have which you're visualizing. So it's all right अगर ऐसा होता है, but we should not be a complete copy, is what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Palak. Palak? No, no, no.
You are
am I-
audible. Yeah, you're audible.
I have a doubt, like if we are taking in a group participation for the requirement, and is there any need that we should have a knowledge about web development, or we should know already about it, how to create an app?
I didn't catch the first part of your question.
I asked in case we are taking a group participation, so is it necessary that we should have a knowledge about web development?
Not at all. Also, even though you are coming in a group, we will be assessing each of you individually, which is why हमने बोला है कि work distribution का थोड़ा clear idea होना चाहिए in the document. जितना clear idea होगा उतना we will feel कि ठीक है, there is a clear definition, सब लोगों को पता है कि उनको किस चीज़ पे काम करनी है. So the assessment will be individual. It will not reflect. अगर जैसे group अगर काम नहीं कर पा रहा है and there's one person only who's able to work, you don't have to worry or get frustrated. उसके बारे में अभी से सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, because हम लोग एक एक जन से one on one बात करेंगे.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other doubts? Okay, about me का एक डाउट आया अभी. अरे about me में as it stated you have to list एक एक member का about me. मतलब each of you like just talk about yourself.
अच्छा गाइस, तुम में से हर किसी के डाउट्स आंसर हो गए ना, या कोई अभी बचा है? एक बार देख लेना तुमने जो पूछा था, या तुम्हारा जो भी डाउट था वो क्लियर हो गया. ऑल्सो ओपन सोर्स चैनल ज्वाइन कर लेना एसओसी का, जिसका लिंक एक बार डाल चुके हैं. एक और बार मैं चैट में डाल देता हूँ, ठीक है? इसे ज़रूर ज्वाइन कर लेना, बिकॉज इस पे वी पुट इन रेगुलर अपडेट्स अबाउट एसओसी, ठीक है?
Akhil Punia, go ahead.
Yes. How would I know about that milestone thing? Like, I don't know anything about the like if I'm going for an app, so I don't know how to develop or write the code. So how do I be like that? I will do this
Alright.
thing by this date.
Alright, so let's say your app has got 3 features in it. मतलब you know कि तुम्हारा ऐप 3 चीज़ करता है. एक ऐप ऑथेंटिकेशन कर रहा है और एक 2 अलग कुछ और टास्क परफॉर्म कर रहा है. तो वैसे डिवीजन अगर हो गया है तो you will be able to sort of determine कि कितना दिन लगेगा. हम लोग we are not going to stay true or strict to the timeline. It is just for us to know कि कितना तुमने सोच रखा है about the thing. You don't have to worry too much about it. एक एक फीचर के लिए हाउ मच टाइम यू विल टेक उतना थोड़ा रिसर्च करके पता चल जाएगा.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And so, okay, is there any other doubts, guys? Raviraj Prakhar asked you to join our open source workspace. It's on Slack, and those of you who attended our intro talk उनको भी पता होगा. दिव्यांश ड्रिबल बिहांस का आई बिलीव फॉर्म में है. सोलो, इफ यूर आई एम अज्यूमिंग यूर अ सोलो डिजाइनर, तो वो फॉर्म में हमने इनपुट फील्ड डाला हुआ है, वहां पे बस डालना होगा.
I guess he's asking what we have to fill in the dribble behance. Okay, so actually dribble behance are used by designers to showcase their work or post their work. So if you have a profile there, you can post it, and if you don't have a profile, so that's not a problem. You can skip that.
Right. So the milestones thing, it has to be specified before the shortlisting. I mean, that is part of your proposal, and you are submitting your proposal with us. So it has to be before.
Like most of the questions in the chats, I hope you've already covered. Like if there's anything else, you can again raise your hand and ask that question, right?
No, I guess we've covered most of the questions.
Yeah.
Dhruv, can you go through the questions from the starting if we haven't missed any question?
Okay, sure. Like meanwhile, if any one of you has another question, like please go ahead and raise your hand. Okay. Okay, there's a question regarding whether a solo developer will have to design by himself. Riya, could you
Yes.
please go ahead? Yeah.
Yes. So Sahil, they will have to design on their own. Yes, you'll have to come up with the wireframes and sort of design the front end of like how your software will look. Yes. Ashita, I believe we covered this before as well. So in the milestone section, all you have to do is you'll have to talk about the timeline, like how much time will you take for each feature. So in the project specification section, उसके जो just ऊपर है, उसमें you will talk about each functionality जो सोचा है तुमने कि you want to code in. एंड देन उसके जस्ट नीचे होगा माइलस्टोन सेक्शन, उसमें यू विल जस्ट से कि कितना टाइम लगेगा एक एक फीचर को कोड इन करने में. यश, दैट्स टोटली अप टू यू.
Yeah, like there is no requirement as per like the specific tech stack you have to use. Whatever you're comfortable with using, you can go ahead with it. Like if you're making an app, it's your choice whether you want to make a native app or a Flutter app. Okay.
Okay, so there was a question in the chat about whether this is the only way to get recruited at MDG space. I'm not sure if someone's covered it yet, but like we said, this is one of the major ways, major paths through which you can join us. And we have not, we are not, not decided any other recruitments as for now. But for that, you'll have to stay tuned.
Okay, Tushal, no, like sophomores cannot take part in the SOC. This is a program that we have had, like that we have specifically for the freshers. Okay.
Sehajpreet, it's completely all right. If you give us a proposal before the deadline, and so by any chance, if you would have already seen a response, you might not check it again. So okay, in order to, that's a really good question. We would be checking your all the proposal. We will go through all the drive folders once the deadline is up for sure. You don't have to worry about that. We won't. Your drive folder will not get missed. So even if we have taken a look at your folder before, we will get back to it once again. अच्छा दिखेंगे इनमें.
Manan, your question is not really clear. Like if you could just describe more like what you're talking about.
You can also unmute yourself if you want.
Yeah, like you can raise your hand and unmute yourself. Like, okay. It will be better if you're talking to us and getting your doubt cleared, right? Rather than in the chat.
Like in the mentorship program, also you have to talk with a mentor.
Yeah. And this is not a very formal thing, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
Manan.
I can go ahead.
Hi, Manan.
Hello.
Yep, you're audible now, Manan.
Yeah.
So hi. So actually, like मतलब अगर मेरे ऐप में कुछ मुझे ऐसा करना है कि जो दो तीन तरीके से हो सकता है कि मतलब कोई एपीआई सर्विस भी है, कोई मेरे मतलब जैसे फ्लटर वगैरह का प्लग इन भी है और कोई और तरीका भी है, मतलब मैं अपने तरीके कुछ और तरीके से भी बना सकता हूँ, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर कि अभी मेरे लिए क्या तरीका सही रहेगा उस फंक्शनैलिटी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए. तो उसको छोड़ सकते हैं क्या, उस फंक्शनैलिटी की डिटेल्स छोड़ सकते हैं प्रपोजल में लिखना?
Definitely. Like you said, you don't have to specify your technical details, but if you want to, you can just mention key one of the implementation approaches I have in mind is this API service. So
Yep, like that shows effort from your part, na, ki हाँ, you actually research ki how can I implement this, okay? Finally, your mentors will help you out, but like if you mention that, that is even better, right?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, there is a question like on what kind of projects solo designers have to work upon. Akshat, if you could please cover that. Okay, okay, it's already been answered. Okay, thank you, Akshat.
Akshat is super fast.
Okay, guys, if you do not know, he's a fourth year designer, Akshat, and like.
He's the head of design.
And
So
he's placed.
yeah, like if you have any
He's
design
sorted.
doubts, you can ask from him, and you can rest assured that is the best advice you're going to get. Okay.
He's a sorted guy.
I'm sorry I joined late. With what list is Akshat sir mentioning in the comments chats?
It's already in the season of code जो doc share कर रहा है. It's already present there. Can you scroll down, please?
Yeah, I'll do that. Like, do guys, everyone, please look at the website. Right, many of your doubts will be already covered here. So yeah, this is like solo designers can pick their problem statements from here. Okay. There are 100 examples, so like you'll like one of them, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and designers don't need to code. They have to just submit the UI designs and how they reached the solution and what brainstorming they did. So only that.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you send those links in the chat box?
Okay, like first is the link for this page. Like we'll also be sharing these links again, right? So don't worry.
अच्छा ऐसा करो, ये जो लिंक्स है ना ओपन सोर्स चैनल पे शेयर कर दो एसओसी के, एंड यू कैन जॉइन दी ओपन सोर्स चैनल, है ना, उधर तुम्हें ये सारे लिंक्स मिल जाएंगे.
Like it's the one stop place where you can find everything, right? So please do join the open source channel if you're even remotely thinking of joining the SOC, right? Of doing the SOC. Like our mentorship will most probably also happen on Slack. So like please join the open source channel so you're familiar with it. Akshat
There
has
is one
asked,
question.
can we? Yep, please.
There's one question from Mehak. How about solo developers? Do they need to work on the design aspect of the website or app? So it has been already answered by Ria. So you have to do the design. Of course, after only designing, you can work on the code. But in the final submission, if you are applying for solo developer, so you don't need to submit the design. You just need to submit the code or whatever the deliverable is. For designers, it's mandatory to submit the designs as well as the link to their project. Like if you are working on Figma, so you have to share the Figma link.
Okay, Akshat has asked, can we apply for both SOC and Yep, okay. Go ahead with your question, Raj.
Sir, I was asking that the developers just have to go upon with their ideas. No need for the technical work.
As of now, we want you to like ideate it properly, and then you can work. Like you can already like spend your time trying to like learn skills, etc. Right? But as of now, from our end, we just want you to like ideate the thing properly, whatever your proposal is.
And so about the designer, they have to give the Figma link of their work that they have done for the designers.
Like I guess Akshat already covered that part, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for the question, if one can apply for both SOC and WOC, see, you won't be able to work on both the projects in two different programs at once. So I would recommend you to prioritize the programs in which you want to apply and try to apply in one program only, right? That would be more beneficial for you. Don't think of getting rejected in one program. What will I do, right? There would be more opportunities, but if you are selected in both, and there you would take an extra slot which might have been used by some other person, right?
Also, please do not think of submitting the same proposal uh, at both WOC and SOC, because I got some DMs about that as well. We will find out and we will come to know, and it's really not a nice thing to do to submit the same proposal at two different mentorship programs. So please do not do that.
Yep, neither of the groups will appreciate that. Like I can tell you for sure. Okay, like Manan has asked, can solo developers submit just the minimal working app at the end of the SOC? Yep, like the mentors will work with you, right? Throughout the project. So like you don't have to worry about it. Yep, work in the timeline. Like, you're not going to have to specify whether what colors or icons you're going to be using, right? Like that's not required for the mentioning in the work timeline.
Yeah, because we will be looking at your logic and you know what your app or your software. I'm just going to say software right now. Your software is aiming to solve. So we will be looking at the innovation and the feasibility of the app, not how pretty it looks. I mean, if you
Plus,
won't work on it.
yeah, even after the SOC, we'll be looking at how much, like what functionalities you have applied and not how beautiful the app looks, right? We're not looking for a product. Okay, this is a
Right.
mentorship program, not a hackathon. Again.
Right. During the mentorship program, if you choose to, if the front end developing part of the app kind of attracts you better and you want to work on that, that is also completely fine. Like we will help you there as well.
Yeah.
It's your exploration. So, Mohit, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Like just to express our ideas well, can we share a rough lookout, a handmade lookout made by ourselves in the idea wala part, so that you can get to know, you can have a good idea like this is what I want to implement.
Did you? I didn't catch you that your voice was breaking.
He said,
Yes,
can he share some handmade lookouts in his proposal? Like he's thinking this thing and he wants to draw that on a paper.
yes,
Yep,
exactly.
sure. Like
I
the
think
more
that,
details you share with us, the better, right?
yeah,
The better we
definitely
are
go,
able to understand your proposal. Yeah.
Okay, thank
go
you.
ahead, because that shows that you are that much sure of your idea and how you want to proceed. So this goes for everyone. Like if you have such add-ons, तो वो भी कर सकते हो आराम से.
And ma'am, during this time, right, during this if we want to connect to any one of you, or any one of your team, like how can we connect, like from the Facebook wala part, because I'm not any other social media
Just see,
platform, only on Facebook.
just
So
just download Slack, right? Just download Slack, join the open source workspace, है ना? And you can message us on Slack itself,
Yeah.
and you will
Like
get
So
all your
Slack,
answers.
Slack is a professional platform, right? So
Yeah.
like if you're going to work, like that will be better for you. It's not a social
It is
media
not a social
platform.
media,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It is not a social media platform. It is a professional platform for the different companies who for all the working professionals, right? So you can just download that app and log in into MDG's open space, and we've shared that link in the chat
so
box, right?
and from there on, you can see all of us, all of the members there, and you can DM any of us, or you can ask in the channel itself.
Yeah. Okay, Sahil had asked, like, will you help us in guiding whether the proposal is worth it or not, worth selection or not? Like, we will be sharing our feedback on the proposals as the time goes by, okay? So don't worry. Plus, like, we always encourage you to make multiple proposals if you have multiple ideas. Otherwise, too, like, we'll be sharing our feedback on them. We'll be leaving comments on the doc.
अच्छा, I guess
Okay, there's
अच्छा,
another question, Ria. Can I apply as a solo UX designer and solo dev both?
Right. So this is a new question which we have not received before. See, the thing is that if you're applying as a solo applicant, as a solo developer, you would anyways have to design the app also. So I'm not understanding your question, because if you say that you want to apply both as a solo UX designer and a solo developer, तो अलग अलग apply करने से तो better यही रहेगा ना कि you apply as a solo developer, because उसमें design तो करनी पड़ेगी framework for your app, and that way you can explore and you can be flexible कि ठीक है design better लग रहा है या developer better लग रहा है. Akshat, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree to that. Just one thing to add, if you are applying for both designer and developer, no, so in the final submission, make sure you submit all the designs as well as Figma file and the code also. And if you are applying for only dev role, so you don't need to submit the Figma file or UI designs.
Yeah.
Like regardless of whether you want to join us as a developer or a designer, you would have to submit your you would have to like work on a proposal and as such. So in the long run, if you do apply as a developer and then explore, our mentors will be completely on board with it, because you will be having a designer as well who will be helping you, one of our designers. So that's
Yeah.
not an issue.
Like it's flexible, right? Whatever you want along, whatever you decide along the way, you can let your mentor know, and we'll arrange something accordingly. Okay.
Acha, I guess we've covered most of the questions. If you have any other question, you can just drop it in the chat box or unmute yourself, right? And we'll if you're not getting any questions in next 10 minutes, we'll just end this meet, right?
Also, I have something to add here. So we've been receiving some DMs about your ideas. I believe even I got one in the morning. So we do not want to handhold you through your ideation phase. What we would want is कि खुद से तुम सोचो कि तुम्हें क्या मतलब feasible लग रहा है और क्या innovative लग रहा है and how you would work on it in the next 1 month. So uh, don't ask us to sort of review it. Don't send us your idea overview and ask कि ma'am, do you think कि ये अच्छा idea है? um, we would want you to like make a proper submission and then वहाँ से we'll take it further.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Like even if you left your question unanswered previously, you can post it again.
Keep posting till you get your answer.
Yeah. Like also please join the open source Slack channel. Like I've posted that link again. That will be like our primary method for communication. You'll get everything there at one place. Okay. It will actually improve your productivity. You'll not have to look for Facebook posts and saved images of things, etc.
If you're not a social media person, you can just go and join the Slack channel.
सारे अपडेट्स हम स्लैक में डालते हैं, so it's not likely that you will miss out on anything. बस स्लैक ज्वाइन कर लो, it will be more than enough.
Yeah, the social media platforms that we handle are for reach. The actual work will be is it does like gets done on Slack itself. Okay. Okay, Suraj has asked whether these ideas can be submitted as a PPT. Yeah.
Could you elaborate on this? Like, what would a PPT solve that the Google Doc template would not? You can unmute yourself, Suraj.
Okay, like anyways, we appreciate if you submit that in like the exact format, right? It will be easier for us to review. Okay.
Yeah, so why we are emphasizing on a proposal template is that even when you move forward with your professional life as well, many times you would be asked to like pitch your proposals in a particular template, and it is often in a document style itself. PPT आती है, वो बाद में बनाने को आती है, जब selection हो जाता है, suppose it's a case study competition also, तो पहला pitch हमेशा doc में होता है, adhering to a template which has been specified by the organization. उसके बाद जाके पीपीटी की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. पीपीटी में इतना ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स तुम कवर नहीं कर पाओगे. आई थिंक इमेजेस इज प्रोबेबली द ओनली थिंग दैट अ पीपीटी वुड सॉल्व. तो वो तो यू आर मोर देन वेलकम टू अटैच इन द डॉक्यूमेंट इफ यू वांट टू लाइक कुछ लेआउट.
Yeah, अगर तुम्हें images ही लगाने तो you can attach them in the doc itself.
Am I audible?
Okay, there are a few questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are audible.
I was just asking, can we submit in PPT? So you have answered that, and also I'm not that pro coder like thing. I'm really noob at it.
I'm also noob.
We were also noob. Like in my first year, you are just in first year right now. You have not even come to college, so we do not expect anything. अपने टाइम में when we were on college and we participated in SOC, हमें भी नहीं आता था. मेरे को सिर्फ Git आता था when I had submitted my proposal for SOC. तो
मुझे वो भी नहीं आता था, तो ठीक है.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, there are a few questions about the deadlines and stuff. For all those questions, please go onto the website and check those out. Like you'll be requiring them anyways, right? Okay. That will be your one-stop solution to most of the data that you require about the SOC. Yep, I've posted the link again.